Hello and welcome back to Hot Takes. It's me and Hamill yet again. You're on this every week, aren't you? You f***ing screen. What are you doing?
Yeah, I had to step in for Tomlinson last week because he was working from home.
That sounds like something he'd say. Scumbag. Absolute shithead.
Cato and Piss, as Zach just accidentally referred to us as.
That is good, especially for you.
It'll be good for the memes, so. Cato and Piss, let's do this.
Let's get into our first hot take, and it comes from Don Coplione. Oh boy. He says, all of the top six bar Liverpool, because Fabinho, lol, should be breaking the bank for Wilfried Ndidi. He's got 13 likes on that, though one of them is yours. But you are an easy like, aren't you? If someone mentions Ndidi, you're like, oh, I'm a Leicester fan.
Oh, I just like regular contributors, Pat. It's about time you started engaging with the fans in a meaningful and passionate way.
I literally told someone to get the fuck out of my mentions not 20 minutes ago. So, and that is a verbatim quote.
Great. Great. Right, let's get on to the question in hand. Wilfried Ndidi, because you're right, I do bloody love him. And I mean, it goes without saying at this point that his defensive contributions, massive, only bettered by Idrissa Gueye at Everton, aren't they? I think around 4.5 tackles and interceptions a game. I think there's a lot of teams in the top six that could do with that defensive solidity at the base of midfield, like Arsenal, like Manchester United. Wouldn't play him at Liverpool. Don't think he's as good in a 4-3-3. Wasn't as good in that system under Puel. Better in a 4-2-3-1, which Brendan Rodgers will play next to Hamza Chowdhury. Allows him to be a little bit more progressive with his play indeed. And I do think he has more to offer in that regard. His key passes are up. His shots are up. Still, majority of them from outside the box, and sometimes his shooting is hilarious. Always been a decent passer, although when he does try and be more adventurous with his passing, that is when sometimes he lets himself down. So I think his pass accuracy is around 79%. Long balls have increased this season as well, so his all-round game...
Still not great though.
Yeah, his all-round game is getting better, but it's still not catching up with shit hot parts of his game, right? If he managed to bring that even halfway there, I think he'd be nailed on for someone like Manchester United.
I think he'd actually be a fine signing for Man United as he is, maybe. Like, look, when we talk about him contributing as the team goes forward, I don't care about shots or key passes. I do not expect that from somebody in his position. But his passing is just okay, and most of his passing is to the guy next to him. And that was fine this season because it was Tielemans, who is genuinely an incredible passer. Or to Maddison, who's going to run forward.
Who would just create an opportunity.
But I think Ndidi could maybe bring some of his physicality and some of his intelligence to his game in terms of bursting forward from the midfield. That might be the way that he contributes in that phase. But I think if you've got a Pogba, I think an Ndidi frees Pogba up in the way that Kante has, in the way that Arturo Vidal did at one stage. So I think that might actually work quite well, and actually the way Ander Herrera did in the back half of the season. Chelsea, I don't think need him. They've got Kante. Spurs could definitely do with him, but I think they need somebody who does a bit more all-round stuff because they're quite a top-heavy team now. City, I don't think he would fit at all. Yes, he'd do the defensive work, but he does not have the passing chops that they need, and Pep is not going to go and find a midfielder just to cover for Ndidi's deficiencies in that regard. He can just wait, and if Ndidi turns into that player, buy him later on, but I don't think he will. I think Ndidi's pretty close to what he's going to be. Yeah. Arsenal, would he improve Arsenal? Yeah, but I don't think he'd improve Arsenal as much as a top centre-back. Arsenal have Torreira, who is a good defensive midfielder and is a better passer. I think he's not as good a passer as Torreira.
I would prefer him in my team to Torreira.
I think it depends what I want him to do. If I'm a team like Leicester, yes, I want Ndidi. If I'm a team like Arsenal, I don't really want him. He's okay.
Kick Torreira into the sun, mate.
Yeah, but Torreira's reading of the game, I think, is a bit better, and Torreira is also a much better passer, and that is an issue with a bigger side. So we could see that with Ndidi. But I think at United, because of them having Pogba, I could see that happening. But that's pretty much the only one of the top six that I would definitely spend an absolute fortune. Elsewhere, I'd go for centre-backs.
So a hot take, relatively speaking, considering he was touting him for all six teams, but an element of realism there.
It's not mental.
It's not mental. It's a lukewarm take. For God's sake, step it up. Down there, in the basement, not a basement, is it? Needs redesigning that because it just looks like a normal room. So.
Is that you doing it? I don't understand what's happened.
Yeah, what's happened.
Okay, good. Right, moving on.
Yes, I'm down here again. I actually think I'm here most often out of all of us, just because I've got takes to give all of you guys, and mainly because no one else can be bothered to, and I've got to edit it. Anyway, my hot take this week has got to be that Chelsea's transfer ban is going to be a good thing for the club. Now I know what you're saying, what the fuck am I on about? We can't buy any players to replace Eden Hazard. Wait a minute. There's not a single player apart from Kylian Mbappe, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo that could replace Eden Hazard for Chelsea in the exact same way. So overall, I don't think it's necessarily the baddest thing in the world. Instead, it means players like Pulisic, like Hudson-Odoi, like Charlie Musonda can get some game time and finally prove their worth at the club. Now, we've spoken many a times about how good Chelsea's academy is. There's players like Mason Mount, Tomori, Reece James, Tammy Abraham. I mean, also on loan is Tiémoué Bakayoko. Victor Moses. I mean, he's not coming back. Let's be honest. But one of Chelsea's biggest problems throughout its history of having this great academy is when we sign players, we sign them young, like Eden Hazard. We bought him when he was 21. So it means other players coming through the academy won't be able to make it into the squad because they're already young players like Oscar, like Eden Hazard, like Willian at the time in those positions, and they can't get the game time, and so they leave. This has seen people like, I know they didn't come from the academy, but like Lukaku, Mohamed Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, all these guys come through and not make it at the club. And we've seen the bad effects when they've scored against us. However, with this transfer ban, it means we can give these players game time. And it also means Maurizio Sarri has an excuse to play them. If things do go bad, if say Izzy Brown doesn't score, or Batshuayi or Tammy Abraham don't work out, Maurizio Sarri, or whatever manager we have at the time, can say, look, we're playing youth, we can't buy any players. There's no pressure for us to succeed, or really, our minimum aim is to get the top 6. And with this less pressure on them, this may see players rise. Tammy Abraham may finally do well. He may finally get his chance and become the Chelsea striker. And let's not forget, we do have a good squad already, albeit because of Eden Hazard, it was the reason we got 3rd place. But if his goals and assists can be shared out a bit between the youngsters and by a few of the older people like Pedro and Giroud and Willian, then maybe we can be surprised this season. Look, the biggest thing we can say is not to expect the world from these youngsters like Pulisic and like Mason Mount, especially after the fact they've had good seasons. But every cloud has a silver lining. So that's my hot take, that Chelsea's transfer ban may be a good thing for the club this season. But what did you guys think of it? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you've got any of your other hot takes, put them down there as well. And also subscribe to the channel, because it only takes 3 seconds. Cool, that's me done in the dungeon. I'm not doing this for a while, I'll tell you that. I don't know why I always do this as well. I do it all the time. This hand goes like that, it's mad, isn't it? Yeah. Cool, back to Pato and Chris. Also, check out Squad Girls. Bye.
Okay, our next one comes from Tejan Tambaran, and he says, Memphis Depay is still not good enough for the Premier League and is massively overrated, but still not as overrated as João Felix.
Who's gonna pay all that cash for him? Because it's gonna take a wad to get him out, isn't it? Premier League, okay, is a hot take. Top sides in the Premier League, I think we have a slightly different opinion on this. I think he's a brilliant player. Predominantly plays off the left, doesn't he? Comes inside. And because of that, I think there's a host of top teams that probably wouldn't be willing to pay the cash and who can't guarantee him the minutes that he would need to progress or kind of demand, I think, in a high profile move.
But that's different from him being good enough. Like he's clearly...
He's good enough, but I think Manchester United, okay, need someone to play off the right. That guy might be Jadon Sancho, they've been heavily linked with. That seems more of a natural fit to me than someone like Depay, who can play on the right, but is a little bit wasted there. Would he go back to Manchester United? No. Chelsea just bought Pulisic, who can play off the right.
So Depay is better than Pulisic?
He's much more of a finished article than Pulisic.
And in some ways he's more versatile in that this season he played quite a lot at centre forward. Huge creative numbers, like over 4 key passes a game. Like, I like Pulisic, and Pulisic is a good player, and Pulisic could even be a great player, but right now he's not quite kicked on from where he was a couple of years ago, whereas Depay 10 goals and 10 assists, I think, this season. Actually, XG said it should have been 10 goals and 14 assists, I think, which is obscene.
Exploded
output.
in the latter half, didn't he?
I think he'd be a perfect signing for Liverpool. Liverpool need another superstar forward. Their attack is so thin. Like,
are we thinking Salah as centre forward, Firmino dropping out, Depay on the right, Mane on the left?
no, I think that you've just got to face the fact that you've got over 50 games a season and not everybody's going to play every game. Like, I think it's ridiculous, this idea of our front three are going to play every single game. Like, this season, Liverpool got exceptionally lucky in that Salah didn't miss a big kind of wodge of the season, neither did Mane. Firmino missed a bit towards the end, but actually, in terms of their front line, they were pretty fortunate.
But is he going to be happy being the new Shaqiri, someone that comes in every 1 in 3 games, someone that has extensive runs in the cup competitions, given he's already been that guy at a Premier League club and he didn't really prosper, didn't really get the consistency he needed to demonstrate? Because I don't think he's a player that suits playing in fits and bursts.
It's not so much with Shaqiri, where Shaqiri is like very clearly a backup to those three players. It's the fact that you assume you are going to get injuries, and the great thing about Depay is he could cover for any of those front three at Liverpool. That's really, really good. Like, whereas Shaqiri really only covers the right, which is Salah's position, and Salah has stayed fit the whole time. And right now, their only left-wing option after Mane is Origi. And yes, Origi scored some good goals this season.
Put some respect on his name.
My God, was he dreadful, apart from that. In the Champions League final, he was appallingly bad.
But that's how he lures defenders in, the inability to make the 5-yard pass and a bang.
Yeah, Yaya Sanogo did that as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think Depay would be good for them. I think he'd be perfect for Chelsea or Arsenal. Arsenal don't have the money. Chelsea don't have the ability to make transfers. So I think it's a bit of a weird one. And also it seems to be, to me, still based on this idea that like Ligue 1 isn't very good. Whereas, I mean, do you think Mbappe is one of the best players in the world? Because he's only really done it in Ligue 1. Do you think that Martial was a good signing for Man United? Is he a quality player? You know, like there are tons of great... What about Fekir when he was linked to Liverpool? Was he good enough for the Premier League? Fekir is not as good as Depay. So, I mean, you look at all these players and I think Ligue 1 produces tons of talent.
I like it, see? Just teach you up there. Sounded really intelligent.
Cheers. What about João Felix? Not as overrated as João Felix. 19 years old, already overrated.
Yeah, just what was it? 18 goal contributions when the new manager came in, second part of the season. So if he continues at that rate, you know, he'll score 1,000 goals in the Ligue 1.
And real goals, not Pele goals. So we finish with a non-football hot take, and it comes from Owen Graham, who says, tuna is the nicest sandwich filling. Then he's put the 100 emoji, the tool. What are you talking about?
This is rotten, mate. Tuna. I remember I had a bad tuna sandwich once at university. Turned my lips blue.
What?
Not an allergy.
What?
Yeah.
What was in it?
I'm not sure. Bad. It was bad tuna. Anyway, tuna.
Have you ever had a bone in it as well? It's absolutely disgusting. Tuna out of the can, it's not the colour tuna's meant to be.
If you've ever owned a cat, it completely ruins tuna for you. And every time you have to, and you get some of that jelly on your finger, and you're like, oh, gee,
It's also, when you buy fish, you're taught that one of the things to do when you buy fish, make sure it doesn't smell fishy. That's a sign it's off. You know what a can of tuna smells like? F***ing fish. Whereas tuna steak, delicious.
Yes.
Tuna in a can, appalling, and should never be in a sandwich because then it's mixed with mayonnaise to make that sort of vomity texture. And when people put it in a jacket potato as well, I literally just want to kick their face off.
I don't mind that. So
you're such a heathen.
Go on.
Like, what's the matter with you?
Wrong, didn't
it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, let's assume that
It's
Owen
like the prawn cocktail of sandwich fillings.
isn't eating tuna steak sandwiches. If he is, you've won at life. Congratulations,
You're an icon.
Owen. You're an absolute baller. And let's assume he's going with tuna out of the can. The texture of tuna out of the can it's very, very close to being a paste.
Oh.
And if someone said to you, would you like a fish paste sandwich? You'd slap them. Open hand, bang, wouldn't you? Straight forearm smash.
I mean, fish paste is actually a thing, though, to be fair.
Foam, fish foam.
I don't know. If I was with somebody and they ordered tuna, then I'd be like, so we're going our separate ways after this, right? Because I don't want to be near you when you smell of tuna.
Yeah. When you smell
like a dolphin.
The remnants of my cat's bowl, you pervert. Anyway, what about crab sticks?
They're also disgusting. They're not even crab. Like, they're bullshit.
They scare me. The concept of a crab stick. I mean, I've eaten them. I've enjoyed them. But like a fish as a stick.
They're lies. They're lies. They're just lies, mate. They're not even crab. So if you enjoyed this 10 minutes of content that we cobbled together, then make sure that you drop us a like below,
Piecemeal.
maybe a comment as well, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Okay, well, the take I did is definitely going to make it in, so we'll see you next time on Hot Takes, show that used to be good.
Peace!
Bye.